So just to give you a bit of an introduction, my name's James Ski. I've spent the last 3 years working for LinkedIn, and my first real taste of the software as a service industry was working for Huddle. And some of you may know Huddle as a kind of a British collaboration platform, quite often got compared as a competitor to Box and Dropbox, and it was positioned as an alternative to SharePoint in its early days. What was really exciting when I first got into the software industry, prior to that I was in recruitment, and I'll tell you one thing about recruitment, no one ever gave you a lead. You were hacking away and hustling on the phone for every candidate contact. It's brutal. Then I joined Huddle and I had leads. And suddenly my world was just changed. We were creating opportunities left, right and centre from these leads. I got access to Salesforce. We had Zendesk, we had Gainsight. We were using HubSpot. We were using all these SaaS platforms to make more money. And as a salesperson, that got me excited. So that really got me excited about the SaaS industry. And Huddle, and we've got the former CRO of Huddle, Neil, speaking tonight, now representing Peakon. There was a great story to be in early, a SaaS story, because it accelerated our careers really rapidly. Also from that time, I started to come across TechCrunch, started to see and read books like Predictable Revenue, Spin Selling, customer-centric selling, all these concepts. And what I kind of started to get a feeling for is everything really was US-centric. And even in the last kind of 4 years since I've left Huddle, that hasn't changed so much. And yet, there are more startup founders building SaaS companies in London than ever before. And VCs are freely opening their wallets, and we've got one here tonight, Chris from Notion Capital. I've never seen it. that are welcoming good opportunities. So hopefully you're going to have a good time. My goal really with Sales Confidence is essentially to create a UK-focused SaaS market for professional salespeople. And so I want to connect sales leaders and founders from SaaS companies to sales professionals. And in that, there's going to be a hub of knowledge and a regular series of events like this that we're going to put on going forward. And so to kick things off, I'm really grateful that we're going to have Chris from Notion Capital on a panel discussion. I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions. We want to keep it really short and punchy. And so if you can save your questions to the panel at the end, we'd be grateful. And of course, after the panel finishes, there'll be networking opportunities and all the speakers will be available for questions. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, glad that Notion are sort of sponsoring and getting involved with James's idea, so thanks for having me.
Yeah. So me and Chris have had a lot of conversations over the last few years, and we definitely don't share the same wallet size, but we share the same interests in some areas. And for those of you that don't know the story, prior to Notion Capital, Chris was leading the sales organisation as part of Message Labs. In the kind of 8-9 years that he was there, they grew to over $150 million annual turnover. And at the point they exited to Symantec for over $700 million. So when we talk about kind of B2B SaaS success stories in the UK, Message Labs was a great example of that. And what they've brought in terms of knowledge to the market within the B2B SaaS space over the last few years with Notion is an incredible example of what can be achieved in the UK. So I guess, Chris, it'd be interesting to talk about your passion for sales and how you found yourself in this position.
Yeah, I think probably the starting point is that I've done 4 different verticals in my career, and if you take Message Labs as a sort of a bet, so I'm making a bet that I'm going to join some guys. It's actually Star. Message Labs wasn't created at the time. It was born out of another company called Star Internet. But myself, I took a 70% pay cut to take that bet. Steve Chandler was the CFO, was the general partner of Notion. He took about a 90% pay cut. He was running a piece of the TMT division at Deutsche Bank. So, move out the city, go join a company that's got a couple of million of revenue down in a barn in, Gloucestershire. So, you do have to take these bets. But so I was a sales guy. I'd made a lot of those bets before. And I think, so I'm really, really passionate about sales professionals because, that's my upbringing. And I'm fascinated about the fact that salespeople take a whole set of intangible actions from a whole set of people and they drive a defined outcome within a defined time period. For me, that is just like, wow, how do they do that? It's, but VC is really interesting because I think one of the big issues that people don't talk about for sales professionals when they think about startups is you're making effectively exactly the same bet that I'm making, but you're making it with your burning time, reputation, brand, and you're trying to find, an opportunity between yourself and a founder or a market fit. And if you look at the VC statistics, then in any given fund, you're seeing 2,500 opportunities to invest in 25 companies. And over a 10-year time horizon, you're going to make probably 80% of your return from 3 of those companies. So if you link those two pieces together, in my opinion, sales professionals just are not seeing enough opportunities to make the best educated bet of which company and which founder they should be joining. If you just think that through, let's say your sales manager changes your comp plan and you become all upset. You're then going to reach out to some friends and some recruiters. You're going to see 6 or 7 opportunities and you're going to choose one. Well, statistically, that's not going to be the right choice. So my sense is that people aren't really, in the sales profession audience, whether that's senior CRO or whether that's a junior, getting into the profession and seeing enough opportunities. Now, I don't have a monopoly on great opportunities at Notion, but effectively we're aggregating opportunities down like other VCs. And so kind of in that are, I think, categories of companies or types of companies where there is a lot of opportunity, and thinking about those opportunities in terms of your skill set is really, really important.
So from a kind of sales professional perspective, when you're looking to research the market, what are those kind of leading indicators that stand out to indicate that could be a potential hot prospect?
If I as an investment,
from a salesperson's perspective.
Well, I think you've really got to get the match. There's a few things. So if I look at a VC's portfolio who have aggregated 2,500 opportunities down to 25, then I think you've got 3 or 4 different opportunities that you could choose. So I'm going to talk to you as an audience about what you could choose, if you see what I mean, and I can relate that back to how we choose what we invest in. But I think at the moment you've got an interesting X and Y axis where you've got all of the companies that have got the largest market share of customers, and then on the Y axis you've got a whole bunch of advanced technology. So this is propeller heads with a great idea using advanced technology who have no market share. Now a VC effectively right now today is looking for one of those that could get loads of market share. Just think about it, that's the logic. But as I said, statistically, that is a very, very small percentage. It's less than 1%. So if you see 100 companies, you've got a good half a decent chance of finding one that will be that home run for you and everyone else around the table. However, those advanced technology companies, guess what? They're going to get bought by these very slow-moving companies that have all the market share. So for someone that's really good at strategy, really good at relationships, really good at biz dev, they could do, maybe 2 or 3 of those over the course of a decade, make £500,000, £1.5 million quid. Build some incredible relationships with some incredible technology people and corp dev. So to me, that's almost like a category of company where you could make a real educated bet that that's the bet that you're making. Alternatively, based on the statistics, you've got a whole bunch of companies that, if you like, you've got startups, grow-ups, and you've got scale-ups. So based on the statistics I said, most companies get stuck in the grow-up phase, i.e. they don't grow up, okay? So they raise capital, they hit an air pocket, they get a bit flat, they try lots of different things, but they're stuck between, say, 2 and 6 million quid. The thing that's these are some of my favourite people. So the people that come in and transform the outlook and the performance of that company, what happens is you can kind of forget the investors, you can forget the founders to a lesser or greater extent. The power curve moves to the people that can make that transformation. That's generally a GM, a CRO, somebody that's done transformation a few times. They can actually come from different functions, to be perfectly fair. Generally speaking, there is going to be somebody that is going to re-architect the way that they go to market.
Okay.
And to me, that's a really, really interesting opportunity. And those for us are highly prized people, because guess what? Even the ones that are the home runs, these people need those people in those businesses, because they have an understanding about the outlook that founder's going to go through. That founder typically is in the biggest job they've ever been in. You need to augment them with these types of people. So there are 3 different sort of categories of opportunities that sales professionals should really be thinking about. But the one I want to take is you're not seeing enough opportunities when you make a career decision.
Yeah, and just mindful of the audience as well, that there are founders in the room that are right at that early stage, from a kind of building out their platform, and also thinking about building out their team.
Yeah.
At what point is it important to have a commercial partner?
Well, for me, if I'm going to invest, you need to have a commercial partner. So you might not have it then, but pre-deal, I'm talking to a founder and they're saying, we are going to be X, it's going to be in the pocket of every business and it's going to transform this industry. And I just go, well, no, it's not. It's not. I mean, technologically it might, from a product it might, but unless everyone buys this thing, you're not building that. It's a concept that you're building that. So for me, the advice is you need to go and you need to find a commercial partner. And part of that is a technical fit. So part of that is like, which markets, which domain expertise, which average order value have they executed before, so there's all of that obvious bit. The most important bit is actually the emotional side. They are going to go married to a commercial partner and they're going to go to war together, right? And the way I actually say this is saying, look, at some point in your 50s or 60s, you're going to be lying on a beach and you're going to have some sort of messaging application and you're going to be messaging this person saying, oh my God, how did we do that? That's the relationship with this commercial partner. Now that's actually quite frightening for technical founders. They quite often get really confused because they think, oh, he's suggesting I'm hiring my boss. Yeah. And that's not what I'm saying. I just believe that the ability for you to execute from a market perspective is as important as it is from a technical perspective.
And just from a final perspective, thinking about what we're trying to achieve with sales talent and sales confidence and Notion Capital, what are your hopes for the sales and SaaS community in London for the future?
Well, I just think there's huge amounts of unrealised potential, and Notion from day one, what we're really, really good at is we're a really open VC. We invite VCs to our founder events, right? They're like, oh, this is a bit weird. What about proprietary deal flow? Well, if they don't want money from me, they can take your money. If they want money from you, they can take your money. It's like, so we try and bring a lot of people together because, if you're going to build big technology companies, you're going to need lots of people and lots of support. And so, we build a platform that enables us to be able to bring those people together. Right. And when people think SaaS, they think Notion. So
excellent. Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thanks for
Cheers, Craig.